all challenges we face, uh, how do we solve these things. If you are aspiring to become one of the UI developers, work on front end, so then what you can do, what all technologies are out there. So just a brief introduction around those things. uh, it's good or not good, but we are in that situation where recession is around the corner. So definitely we have to be prepared, be practical, and we have to be prepared, and how to be prepared for that one, and how to gain your skills so that there is an opportunity for job and all those things. I'm not sure which sem you guys are. Maybe 6th sem, I suppose, because I had OS around 5th or 6th sem. So I think I'm not sure what sem you guys are, but anything will be helpful from now on. So so I'll try to make it as simple as possible. I'll not go into any technical details and all those things. Yes, as this is a technical speak, I'll just go over one or two concepts of the technical aspects, like virtual machines, what is Docker, very simple things. So I won't go in depth with that. Also, just a brief introduction to those things. Those things exist in this real world. That's what I would like to explain. So starting now. So yeah, I think you guys can see. So uh, if I'm making something wrong, just let me know, because I'm very new to this Zoom and all. You guys are now expert, I think, with all the online classes and all. So yeah, uh, so this will be a very quick one. I won't take like 14 minutes, 15 minutes, and all those things. Just 25 minutes. And if you guys have any doubt related to anything, irrespective of anything, you guys can shoot to me. I know what you guys will be feeling, because I was there in that position last maybe 5 years back. Uh, so a brief introduction about me. My name is Pawan. I'm an alumni of CIT. I'm a 2015 batch pass out computer science student. Uh, so we have, when we were in college, we have done so many gigs out there. Like, we did so many projects. So all those things has helped me a lot in the professional world. uh, I'm not a geek. uh, I'm actually a tech enthusiast. So I was too much lenient towards the new technologies and all those things. uh, so right, so I'm an UI developer basically. If you guys know what is UI development, whatever you can see on a web is a job of a UI developer. So I am responsible for making anything look good out there in the world. Basically, I'm working in Flipkart. So whatever you see in Flipkart.com, so some contribution of my thing will be there in that one. So that's what my job is about. So how did I became an UI developer and all those things? That's a next part. Uh, but I basically am an UI developer. I have been working as an UI developer from past 7 years maybe, as a professional from past 5 years, but since 7 8 years as a freelance developer, I used to work as an UI developer as well. I have done so many projects and all without joining any company as well. So yeah, so what I want to do is just to give you a walkthrough of how this professional world is, what all things are there outside in that world, how you guys can prepare to enter those world. You guys are at the step of entering the different world. Whatever you guys are learning in class is one thing, but there is a whole lot of things outside that thing. So you have to be adaptive enough so that any new thing that is shown shoot at you, you should be able to capture it and you should be able to adapt and work on those things. So that's what the professional world is all about. You will be given a problem, you have to solve it. So they don't care how you solve and all those things, you have to solve it. That's the first step. Next step will be how efficiently you can solve, how futuristically you can think and solve. So those are the things that you have to be keeping in mind. That comes as experience goes. As a developers, your vision should be about, as an engineers, your vision should be about solving any problem. So yeah, I'll start with one of my favorite quotes of a movie. I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. So I follow this one to any level. So I would like to start with, I start all my topics with this quote only, uh, which will help you guys as well if you guys understand these words. Uh, so yeah. So coming into particular UI developer or front-end engineer role. So what is a role of front-end engineer? What are the responsibilities of a front-end engineer? Why is a front-end engineer very relevant to this particular world? Why is a front-end engineer is so much in demand? Those things are very critical things to understand. Roles, as I told, roles and responsibilities, we are responsible to show any data in a good looking way. I'll give you a practical example now. So now with all the world about COVID-19, coronavirus and all those things, uh, see, they have the data, government has the data, or world WHO has the data. So today 10 members, 15 members got infected and all those things. But as a normal human or normal guy from outside the world looking at that one, do you guys understand how do you so how easily you can understand those things? You cannot read the text like, okay, India 12 members, 13 members descended, like that. You cannot understand those things. That is where a role of UI developer comes into picture, where you have the data and you represent it in a way such that it is easily understandable by any of the normal guys. So any layman guy without any knowledge can understand these things. That's the role and responsibility of a very practical use case. uh, it's not like, see, there are two parts to this one. Backend developers has a very critical role to do as well. Backend developers are the reason we get the data. Front-end engineers get the data. They do run so much algorithms and understand uh, what is this data about, how to make this data relevant. So anything, the data is out there in the world. COVID-19 related data is out there in the world. Someone has populated those data. But backend engineers are responsible to make sure that the data is organized. They organize the data in such a way, maybe in a characterization of country-wise active cases and all those things, right? So that is the job of backend developers. They organize the data. How to show that one is the responsibility of the UI developer. Both the things go hand in hand. Without backend developers, UI developers is of no use. Without UI developers, backend data is not relevant to any layman. So we both should work in parallel in any organization. In an organization, I'll give you a practical example of Flipkart only. So I work in an organization inside Flipkart called as Marketplace, which is the most income giving organization for the whole Flipkart itself. So in that marketplace, it's like 10 is to 1 ratio for backend developer to a front-end developer. If there are 100 backend developers, then there is only 10 quality UI developers, which means that there is a huge demand for a UI developer. We get UI developers who think HTML, CSS, that is enough to become an UI developer. UI developers are not only about the colors, not only about the positioning of something. UI developers are responsible to compute so many things. If you are given hundreds of data, how do you show in an effective way in a 10 line? That's what the job role of UI developer will be. So quality developers quality UI developers in an organization is of most necessary thing right now. What skill an UI developer should have? UI developer, normal, see, first UI developer means he's a developer first, then he concentrates mostly on the UI thing. As a developer, you should be having a major attribute towards problem solving. If you are given a problem, you should think in a way that how effectively can I solve this problem? Should I solve this one, or how to solve this one? Those things you have to answer to become a developer first. What will help you with that one? All these algorithms, all these logics, all these frameworks will help you with those things. Then comes the part of UI. UI, with whatever the algorithms that you put in to massage the data so that you get only the data that is required for you. UI acts as a primary resource where they put in colors, positions, they put in various icons and all those things. They represent it in a good way. There are so many skills that you should have to become a quality UI developer. Basic things are normally HTML, CSS, JavaScript. HTML, CSS will act as an view model. So it only helps in showing you a view. It doesn't help you in doing any action. For example, in Facebook, if you go, when you log in, you see a wall and you see the post of any number of guys, right? So that is a data that is represented. Whatever the data that has come is represented in a visual manner. That is the job of UI there. But when you want to post something, when you want to reply, when you want to like, everything involves an action. That action is handled by JavaScript. So JavaScript is like the core language for the UI developers. With the good knowledge of JavaScript, you can become a quality UI developer. Along that one, there are so many frameworks based on JavaScript. I mean, we have created one of our frameworks. You can create your own framework. What is a framework? Is a framework. It's like, so to give you an example, uh, Tulu is a language, right? Tulu doesn't have a lipi. So what happens is you have to understand that one. There is no lipi, there is no dictionary to learn that one. So you have to keep on doing it and you have to learn that one. It's a complex thing. But as far as Kannada, we have a dictionary, we have a lipi. So anything with the dictionary and with the bound principle, which is based on something else, is called as framework in natural way. There are n number of frameworks. Every day someone will launch a new framework. You cannot learn all the frameworks. That's why in any interview you go for an UI developer role, majorly they ask for a strong JavaScript guy, not any framework guy. There are companies who ask specifically for the framework, but they don't have the futuristic thinking, because frameworks will go void. It will get expired. For example, AngularJS was the booming framework in 2015. I started with AngularJS, but now AngularJS is not used much. Now it's an era of React.js. So it will be evolving. So to adapt to all those things, you have to have a basic knowledge of uh, JavaScript. You have to be strong in JavaScript. All these languages will be based on JavaScript itself. So if you know JavaScript, you can learn any of these framework. So try to achieve that skill of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to a pro level so that you can adapt to any framework. But HTML, CSS, and JavaScript only, can it fetch any job? No, it cannot. You should have a knowledge of at least one framework. JavaScript does it in a very complex way. It's a very basic language. To achieve one click, you have to write at least 20 to 15 lines of code, which can be achieved in any framework with one line of code. So that's what framework does to you guys. At least you should have exposure to one of the framework. So you pick your framework and you start learning those things. To give you a motivation in such of sort, Facebook has created React.js, so you can learn React.js. React.js is an open source; it's very lightweight. React.js, maybe it comes with the size of what, 4 to 10 KB maybe. That's it, 4 to 10 KB, which even a photo will be of around 12 to 14 MB now. So this whole framework comes with a size of 4 to 10 KB. Uh, so it's very light. You guys can learn it. There are so many online tutorials on React.js, basics of React.js in the world out there. So you guys can learn it. What I would suggest is get the knowledge of HTML, CSS, and get choose your one of your languages, one of your framework, and learn on that one, so that you will be ready. You will be ready for the outside world, professional world. uh, how did I became interested in front end development? This is a very funny story actually. So so why did I choose computer science was so I joined engineering in 2011. So which means I did my pre-university at 2009. 2009 systems and laptops were very rare. In a home to get that one, it's very rare. I have a brother, I have an elder brother who was doing engineering at that point of time. He had got system. He used to not allow me to touch that one. So I had to choose computer science to touch that computer in pre-university. So, just to play games, obviously. I did not know anything about other things. So uh, when I got hold of computer, I was put into a whole new world. I was exposed to so many things in the computers. uh, One of the major things that triggered me was, if you guys might have observed in news, uh, below headlines will be scrolling, right? So that was the first trigger point for me. I was amused that how this can happen. uh, I didn't know anything about HTML or anything. So I was amused that, okay, something is happening here, I don't know how it is happening. I was able to understand there is an image, there is a video, but I don't know how this text and all those things were scrolling and all those things. uh, so that made me interested in learning few of those things. I started researching those things. I mean, research in the sense, not going online reading and all those things. Very limited books also we had. What I used to do was, I used to play online games at that point of time. So whenever uh, I go to an online game website, I used to start wondering what is happening, how this is coming. Then I started about debugger tools. So if you right click on the any website and see inspect element, it will give you an HTML. So then I realized, okay, this is something which is getting converted into this one. I started playing around with those things, and I started learning those HTML, CSS, and all those things. We did not had these many resources online, YouTube, and all those things we did not had. That's how I started learning front end development. Then by the end of second year Piri University, I was very much into computer science, not specifically UI developer, specifically about front end development. So I was pretty damn sure that I will select computer science in my engineering. When I came to engineering, first year went something like anything. Like uh, I was very new to all this engineering, college life, all those things. So I was also playing around and all those things happened. But since the second year of my engineering, I started to think about I should do something, because there is hell lot of competition. Maybe lakhs together of people go outside, pass out every year. So I have to do something. I have to be unique. Uh, so what can I do and all those things I was thinking. To be very frank, uh, I am not so good at programming at that point of time. I was not good at programming at all. All I knew was, okay, I had a sense of design because I'm a photographer. I know how to color and all those things. So I used to have a site for design and colors and positions and all those things. So my obvious choice was the alternate for programming, which will be UI development. So I chose UI development. I thought only HTML, CSS is a part of UI development. I started doing then year earliest. this is not the only thing. There is whole lot of things other than HTML, CSS, color and position and all those things. Then obviously I was introduced to lot many languages. I learned so many things. I did so many projects to learn. I did not learn from YouTube or something. I took a project and I used to do that one. If it is good or bad, I used to do that one. Uh, so that's how I started front end engineering, front end development. Luckily, I got an opportunity to work as a UI developer as well. Not everyone gets an opportunity to work in what they want. So whenever a campus interview or whenever an interview happens to you guys outside also, uh, usually you won't know the role. It will be a generic role called a software development. Uh, which can be leading from UI development to backend development to testing to anything. So we didn't know. I got hired in campus for L&T Technologies, but I did not get offer letter in time. So I joined some other startup in between. In that startup, I got an opportunity to work as an UI developer. So that's how my career as an UI developer started. Which then after 6 months I joined Flipkart, and I am in Flipkart since 4.5 years now. So that's how my front end development journey started. Uh, so what all frameworks are there? We told a lot of frameworks and all those things, right? The legacy framework is jQuery. Even now, so many websites are running based on jQuery only. jQuery is a very different and unique language, which is not exactly based on JavaScript, but partially based on JavaScript. jQuery was very easy to interact with any of the elements in an HTML. So it was very easy to interact with HTMLs there. Uh, but obviously, as I told, frameworks expire. As an users, we used to select which will be easy for us. So all the developers were very keen on doing something very easy. To achieve those things, to achieve an easy way to work in a framework, uh, you have to put in a lot of thoughts to build a framework. So many people came around. Open source became a concept. Then everyone in the world, even me and even you guys, can contribute to the open source. So like that, a lot of frameworks started coming out. jQuery was the king of web development for almost what 8 to 10 years, I think. After that, Angular came in. Angular ruled the world for almost 4 years. Then came React.js. React.js is still the most downloaded one. I'll show you the stats for those things. React.js, because it is powered by Facebook. Facebook was the phenomenon of our generation. So Facebook helped us with these frameworks. They gave us these frameworks so that it will be very easy to work on. Then came the Vue.js. Vue.js is the latest thing, which will be the future. React.js also will go, and Vue.js will come into picture in future. That's the four major frameworks that is there. There are n number of frameworks. I will show you in the corresponding slides what all frameworks in Flipkart we are using. So that will be a huge list only. These are the major frameworks uh, that I wanted to shed the light upon. You guys can pick any of the frameworks and started exploring those things. You cannot read and become a developer. You have to do and become a developer. So that's the brief introduction of a UI developer. What is the role and how I became one? What you can do to become one, and all those things. Uh, Moving on. So in 2020, as I told, there are n number of frameworks, right? Majorly React.js, Vue.js, Angular. There are frameworks called as Preact, Ember, Svelte. So there are a number of frameworks. These are the major frameworks. One of the survey company has done this survey, which gives so many insights about a framework. So I know, if you guys become an UI developer, I'm pretty sure the first question you will have will be, uh, which framework is better to use now. So I have a project to do. What framework should I use? Should I use Angular? Should I use React? Should I use Vue.js? So there is no answer to that one actually. Uh, there's no proper answer to that one. It all depends on what you want to achieve. I'll give you a brief uh, introduction about React and AngularJS, not even technical. I'll just give you an example. In AngularJS, in any website with AngularJS, if you see, if you click on one of the navigations, uh, the whole page gets re-rendered. And let me show you an example, maybe. Just a minute. I'm not sure how to stop the share and share the complete screen.
Just you can go for share and share that screen too.
Yeah, sure. So can you guys see this page?
Yes, sir.
Just give me a minute, guys. So can you guys see this one, the screen info space?
Yes, Pawan, we can see, Pawan.
Okay, sure. So the thing is, I'm not sure what framework this website is on, but I don't think this is in React, so anything works for me. So what happens is when I click on this one, when I clicked on this staff, the whole page re-renders, right? Which is not necessary. So other frameworks work in this way, where you click on something, if there is a refresh in the data, so the whole page re-renders. As a newer developer, as an end user, you guys don't want to wait for so long. Uh, so that's how the performance actually improves. You have to minimize the reload time of a site. So that's where React been a prominent change in this world. How does React work is, if you guys have observed in Facebook, uh, the only when you scroll only that particular data will get loaded. Until then it won't get loaded, which improves a lot of things. Facebook is built on React.js. So that's the major thing about uh, using React. I mean, I use React because of that particular thing only. So this sharing is very slow, actually. Apologies, guys. I don't know why this sharing is too much slow here. Okay, until this loads, so have anybody had a chance to work on any any of the UI things? Did you guys try anything to build? Did you guys ever wondered how something is working? You guys will be using web for sure. So have you guys ever tried to do something, any projects or simple things maybe? Anyone interested to do in frame in UI front end? So you guys can tell me. I wish this was not a, a remote session. I would have loved to interact with you guys.
Dear students, are you there? Somebody reply, no?
Yes, sir.
I'm here only. I
Ashwini?
just stop the screen share. I'll share it again in 2 minutes. I'm just checking what is happening here.
I think
It's
nobody
okay,
wants
sir.
to reply, I think, Pawan.
I can understand, ma'am. I'll randomly pick a name and talk.
Sir, talk, sir.
Okay, mention one website that uh, you use the most, maybe.
Geeks for geeks, sir.
Whoa. Seriously. Nice. I would have expected google.com. Everyone checks their internet with google.com. So
Yeah, sir.
something happened to my internet, guys. So
One like just you go with like introduction to virtual machines and Dockers, like in normal way. Right, so
I'm just connecting to a different network.
yeah.
So in the meantime, I'll just tell me what my daily daily life would be as a front-end developer in Flipkart specifically. Everyone will be interested about Flipkart, I'm pretty sure. So what the daily life of me or any of the front-end developer in Flipkart revolves around basically problem solving. The thing is, for us, an end user, uh, as in customers, are the primary focus for us. So we will be trying to solve so many cases where customers are feeling very restless to reach that page. Just to give you an example, how many guys might have used flipkart.com, searched it for something, and found what they wanted to buy in the recommended section below, right? So you would not have found those things if not that recommended or something was not there. That's how we try to solve those things. Uh, that's a problem statement where user should be able to find what they are looking for based on their historical data. So for example, in Myntra, if you have bought a t-shirt, once if you have mentioned this I'm buying for me and my size is M, L or XL, it will save the data, and the next time when you choose a t-shirt, it will ask, are you buying for yourself or are you buying for someone else? If you're buying for yourself, this is not the correct size, bro, you have to change it. So that's what an UI developer or UI will do. uh, so that's the problem statement, and that's what we try to solve in an effective way. uh, Ultimately what we want is, we would like to complete that whole flow for a customer. If you are searching for a mobile, we want you to buy it. That's what the whole company is about, right? You have to buy it. You just don't want, we just don't want you to see the features and go buy it somewhere else. So that's where we have to make it so easy for our customers, uh, so that they don't face any issues. So if you guys might have seen amazon.com, flipkart.com, I'm not talking because I'm in flipkart.com. Uh, I don't favor any companies. I'm an UI developer. If I go to Amazon, I'll work as an UI developer. So as an UI developer, as an end users, which website does it look and feel wise it looks good? Amazon.com or flipkart.com? Answer I would be expecting, and I would answer, is flipkart.com, because it is more efficient, it is more effective. I know there are flaws in flipkart.com where delivery takes a lot of time and all those things, uh, but yeah, the UI wise, as an UI developer, I would look at the aspects in an UI way. uh, so that's uh, that's how an UI developer life will be. We get a problem statement, we try to solve it in a effective way, and at the end of the day, it's normal software development life cycle where you requirement analysis will happen, requirement gathering will happen, you start implementing those things, you start testing those things. At the end of the day, you go and deploy, uh, so that the world can use your whatever you have coded. uh, the first time when I went to Flipkart, I was so happy when my first commit message went into the cloud, because the whole world who uses Flipkart's at least 1,000 members, or at least 1 lakh members a day, will see my code, will see what I have done. I was so excited about those things at that time. Uh, right now it's been 4 years, so I don't have that excitement left. But all we as a developer, irrespective if it is a UI developer or backend developer, will make sure is, we don't want a downtime. You don't want to see flipkart.com. You might have experienced those in Big Billion Day time, but that's a huge traffic, guys. We handle it very, it's a very tough job to handle those many traffic. uh, so that's what Flipkart a day in a year we get problem statement. I mean, not daily. We all these things are there, those concepts are there. So we get certain sprint tasks. So we take those things, we try to solve those things, we execute it by the end of the sprint. For us, it's a 15-day sprint. So in a 15 days, we take a problem statement, we try to solve those things. It may be both a product solution or a technical solutions. As a technical guys, we would like to solve it in a technical way. If a button is there, if you click on that button, something should happen for that one. If that is not happening, then it's a job of us. Product can take a call, hide that button, but that button is already there, so we have to make that work. That's a technical solve that we have to do. In a simple words, that's what a problem solving means. So yeah, I hope you guys can see the
Yes, Pawan, we can see.
Yes, sir.
screen now. I'll just show like this only. In Flipkart, as I mentioned, there are n number of frameworks, right? In Flipkart, how many frameworks we use? There are a lot of frameworks that we use. Just to mention React.js, Redux, AngularJS, Vue.js, React Native, Blink.js. I would like to tell something about Blink.js. See, as an engineers, anyone would love to build something from scratch. Why do you want to use someone has created something? You can use it, but the whole adrenaline rush comes when you start to build your own framework, start to build
भैया
your own.
देखिए भाई उसको ओ
Someone's mic is on, guys. Okay. So that's what Blinks.js, we built it from scratch. From the scratch, you built it a language. Assume you are building a dialect for Kannada from scratch. What Yenu, that word has some specific meaning, right? You define those meanings. That's the adrenaline rush you get when you start building your own framework. In our team, we were 7 members team, 6 members team actually. We built this whole framework based on JavaScript. It's an open source now. You guys can go and search for Blinks.js. I'm not sure, Blinks.js or Blinks.js.in. So it's a framework. You guys can go and download it and use it. We did not build this one to compete with React.js and AngularJS and all those things. They have so many other things, but we built it for our use cases in a generic way so that anyone can use this one. Then React.js came into picture. Right now we are in React.js and Redux. There is a loopback, which is very legacy framework. RESTway also, we built it from our own, from scratch, which is based on Node.js. So to differentiate between Node.js and JavaScript, JavaScript is a client side, Node.js is a server side scripting. So what client side scripting does is, so any of the things that you see on a browser, actions, all those things are client side. So any of the things that happens behind the scene, if you guys know what is API call, all those things are Node.js. Let me just try and show an example of what is a Node. Call. So yeah, if you can see, this particular thing is called as developers tool. Okay, so this as UI developers or front-end engineers will mostly work with these things only. Whatever I'm showing you is called as network tab, where all the API calls that goes will be documented there. So for example, these are the API calls at this particular point of time in this page has happened. If I click on something, so many other API calls will happen. So yeah, I am not connected to Office network, so it will fail obviously. So this whatever the thing that you are seeing is not a client side code, it's a server side code. So these things we have written based on RESTway, which is our own framework built based on Node.js concepts. So yeah, Express.js is there, GraphQL is there. There are n number of things we use. Uh, to answer the earlier question, what framework is best? See, as you see, Flipkart only doesn't know the answer for what framework is best. We use as per the problem statement is. Make sure that I think in a futuristic way. I have to think in a futuristic way so that in future, tomorrow, a React.js 20 version comes into picture. I don't want my system to go down because of the thing. I should be able to make sure that it is adaptable enough in a very small changes way. So that's what a senior UI developer does. That actually comes by experience only. So yeah, these are the things that Flipkart actually uses. So as I told earlier, how to become a UI developer, you have to start visualizing things. I started visualizing by seeing some news. So that's how my journey as a front-end engineer started. You guys can see anything. N number of websites are there. N number of things are out there. Uh, very simple thing. UI developers are not only web developers. UI developers if Google Maps were only data and not the maps actually. So you guys cannot read those things. That's how important a UI developer is. You have to start visualizing those things. You have to have a keen eye on the design. If you have placed your Bluetooth, whatever the car's render thing, in the maybe in the back side of the car, so it's not correct, right? So you cannot use it effectively. That's where the positioning and all those things. If you keep the button this side, that side, everything matters. So that's where you have to have an eye for good design. So you go to google.com, start to bifurcate those things. What is it happening? It's a very simple thing. It's a very simple website. In my initial days, I used to ask these questions for interview. Replicate google.com. I just want an input box, a Google logo, header, footer. That's it. Try to do that one. You will know how hard it is to set all these things in a center. That's the most difficult part for an amateur UI developer. Go today and try to set something in center of the screen, which is very hard. So that's how you break the websites. You start understanding how those websites work. Uh, then don't keep on reading stuff. You just need to go code something. Even if it is looking bad, it's okay. Code it. Show it to your lecturers. You don't know how much I have tortured maybe Shantala ma'am. Almost every day I used to do something. I used to message her or call her, ma'am, I have this idea. I am doing this one. I'll show you tomorrow. Next day I used to go and sit in her chamber and I used to show. So many scoldings and constructive feedbacks I have got from that one. You can good enough, but when you start showing people, end users input is very much important. Even if you see now, Facebook also sometimes does the survey to understand, are you facing any difficulties? That's how the feedback matters to any of the website or any development. Start debugging things like if you are facing that Facebook is not loading for some reason, Facebook is giving you something went wrong or some error message it is giving you. What you can do is, as I showed here, you can right click, inspect element, search, see if there is any API failure. You cannot help it. I know you cannot solve it, but you can know why is it failed. You can go to this console tab and see if there is any error here, any warnings here. You can try to understand, okay, because of this, maybe this website is breaking. This you can do for any website. This you can do for youtube.com. This you can do for google.com as well. So if you are searching something, go today, Google, search something, right click, inspect element, network tab, search something else. You see an API call going, just go there, see what it is happening, what response is it giving you. It may be not in a readable format, but something will be there. Without something, UI cannot work. UI wholly relate. Rely on is some step you have to take, and so that you start it. So that's what I would tell you guys. If you are interested to become a UI developer, you can do these things. Uh, so I already explained, analyze, discuss, problem solve, execute, and all those things. Now coming into the actual your topic wise, what is virtual machine, Docker template, and all those things. So it's just one slide of content. I'll just briefly explain you what is virtual machines, Dockers, and all those things. How Flipkart is using those things. How I am practically using those things and all this. So everyone knows what is operating systems. Obviously, you will be using daily life Windows, Mac OS, or Android. Everything is an operating system. Operating system is something. It's a software which makes your life easier, which interacts with the hardware of your computer, which interacts with the drivers, which indirectly interacts with the hardware. So this is the core concept of anything. So what happens when you first start your computer or start your mobile is everything gets bootstrapped. Bootstrapped means everything gets bundled and everything starts. So there should be some guy who should be monitoring those things and handling all those things. So that job is done by operating system basically. I won't go in depth with any of the operating system or something because everyone knows and you have that syllabus. What I would like to explain you is what is virtual machine. That also I know it will be there in your syllabus. Maybe not the Docker container, but virtual machines will be there. I don't want to tell anything that is there in your book. I would like to tell you what may not be there in the book and how this is practically in use. As a student, I also used to have this thought process. So when I was learning software engineering, I was like, why do I want this requirement analysis and all those things? I did not know what is the practical use of those things. My question to my brother always was, I don't know what you guys will do for 365 days. The website, for example, Flipkart.com is already there. But what will you guys be doing for 365 days? There are 8,000 developers out there working day in, day out. But what are you guys doing? Flipkart.com is already there. So that's where the whole software development process and all those things comes into picture. Everyone should understand what is the practical use of whatever they are learning. So I would like to shed some light on virtual machines there, which practical use. I'll explain you with Flipkart. So virtual machines is based on an infrastructure. Infrastructure can be your laptop, your mobile, anything. Your toaster machine is also an infrastructure. You can build you can have your virtual machines on that as well. So virtual machines is anything is based on an infrastructure. So on top of infrastructure, they have something called as hypervisor. Hypervisors are a software which is similar to operating systems, which allows you to run different operating system inside one more operating system. For example, I have an Windows laptop, but I want to work in Linux. So what we will do is we build a virtual machine there using our laptop or our system as an infrastructure. That's the infrastructure we are using, and we are using some software to run different OS on top of one more OS. For example, those softwares are VirtualBox, VMware, all those things. Right now, cloud is a major concept. So there is a cloud out there. Cloud is nothing but, see, if I want to tell you in a very simple way, cloud is nothing but a CPU. Assume a CPU, you can convert that CPU into a cloud server. So on top of those things, that software will be running, which will help you in running a different OS, which saves you a lot of money, right? So you cannot buy a Linux machine just for running something. So it saves you a lot of money, and it provides you an option to work on different environments, different operating systems. Uh, so that's what virtual machines does. To coming back to our Flipkart thing, Flipkart has a cloud architecture. We have two data centers majorly as of now, which is in Chennai and one is in Hyderabad. Uh, those data centers are hugely occupied with all these cloud machines, which indirectly or in specifically means that some sort of CPU kind of thing, which in huge numbers maybe. So everyone has to decide on what is the size of the dashboard, or what is the size of Flipkart, for example. Flipkart, what is the size of it? So what all images are there? How much big is the project? How much big is that code base? How optimized I can do? Based on those things, and based on how much interaction that it can bring, how much API calls, as I showed, can happen in a second, uh, and how many people can log in at the same point of time. All those things. Uh, that we calculate based on some surveys. Based on that one, we decide what what kind of cloud instance or virtual machines we should get, how much RAM we should get, how much size we should get. All those things we decide, and we get those machines. There is a whole team which is doing all these infrastructure related things. We get those machines, we take that machines. There are command line commands which helps you to interact with those machines. You go there, you put your code base there, and voila, this starts working. There are concepts called as elastic load balancer and all those things. That is quite outside your expertise as of now, but which all things will come. So that is practically a virtual machine. Somewhere it is there, we go, we use it, we deploy something, or we put it something, and the whole world can access it. That's what the virtual machine does. It saves the money. It saves. It provides a lot of extensibility so that you can adapt to new frameworks. Coming in respect to the new thing called as Dockers. So Dockers are something like it's a container kind of thing. You have a small container which is also based on some infrastructure, which should be your system or with your laptop. But the thing is, it doesn't require a different OS to be present so that you can go and install on that one. Docker container can have different images. There is no requirement of hypervisor here. That's the whole difference between Docker and virtual machines. To be frank, Dockers are not virtual machines or nothing similar to virtual machines. It's a different concept itself. To explain in a layman term, I would like to take an example of house versus apartment. So if you have a standalone house, that is kind of virtual machines. So you have a dedicated electricity, you have a dedicated water supply, you have a dedicated parking. So everything is dedicated to you. If you want a new house, you can buy something and you can construct it there however you want. That's how new OS you can utilize. But apartment is not like that. Apartment, the same architecture, same things are used in a duplicate way. Same electricity line will be channelized to various apartments. Same water supply will be there. Same maintenance will be there. Same parking lots will be there. So that is the difference between virtual machines and Docker containers. It's just the difference between house and apartment. If you want the shared one, which is way faster, so you can use the Docker. If you want a dedicated resources, then you can use the virtual machines. So that's the major thing about these Docker containers and all. So yeah, let's come to practical part where I told recession is around the corner. How can you survive this recession? I know it's very hard for fresh outgoing students of engineering. You have to be very practical. It will be very hard. So what you guys can do is identify your skill set. if you are a UI developer, start investing time in UI development and you want to go to UI development jobs. Start searching for those kind of jobs. If you want to be a backend developer, start doing those things. Don't obviously you should have knowledge of all these things, but you should have expertise at something. And you have to challenge yourself. So if I am learning this one, why? So I'll give you a practical examples. When I was in CIT only, uh, in one of the internals, before internals, we stand outside and talk and read and all those things, right? I had a crazy bunch of guys who were of same frequency for me. So we were always thinking about something new. So in one of the internals, we stood outside and we were thinking about e-commerce website. So how to sell some printed T-shirts. In on that point of time, on that internals day, we decided, let's build a prototype of this one. Let's build a website so that we can sell some T-shirt, printed T-shirts. Simply, we don't know how to do and all those things. That's the second part. First part is to get an idea and try have a thought to solve that one. Next day, we already had 50% of that website built. Although we did not launch that one, but we challenged ourselves. We did not know anything. We achieved that one. So like that, you guys also challenge yourself, invest time in that one, so that you can earn that skill set. Skill set is very hard to earn. You cannot get it by book or certificate. You have to have a practical knowledge of that one. You have to keep a goal in mind. I'll give you one very recent example. I have been taking interviews from past 5 years. I have taken more than 500 to 1000 interviews of UI developers. I have taken interviews of 10 to 12 years of experience. I have taken interview of just passed out guys. And recently I took an interview of a guy who is from 6M. He's from PS Mandya. He's not a Kannadiga though. He's from Mandya College. That guy, we hired him. We hired him as an exception case. Even though he is not passed out yet, he don't have a degree. He came to an interview. Normally we evaluate the interview in multiple rounds, right? So like that, we have evaluated him. He was so damn good, just that he did not only had the book knowledge, whatever this was, he had practical knowledge. He had done so many projects. He knew what we are telling. So what happens is, what the difficult part will be, it's very hard to understand the professional terms. When I joined also, I struggled a lot. I worked for 18-20 hours a day to understand how this professional world works. But this guy knew most of the things. He just needed a direction, that's it. So he was ready for the professional world. He is from 6 sem or 7 sem, I think. He did not had a 4-year degree. As an interviewer, all I can do is I can suggest him that we take him to our manager or HR. So all the decision lies with them, right? But I told my manager that, sir, this guy is exceptional. We have to get him. If we lose him, we don't get this talent anymore. We talked to HR to search if there is any policy or something. There was no policy unless that institute, and you have to be okay that you may miss some classes and you have to complete the 4-year degree. He accepted for those things. He is now working in Flipkart. He's still an engineer. He did not even pass it. So that's how you have to challenge yourself. You have to set yourself like that. In these kind of recession times, if you have that much skill set, you can easily crack any interview. So you can demand the job. Job won't ask you. You can ask the job, okay, I want this one. Give me this one, or else I'm searching for another job. You have to be in a commanding position rather than accepting this thing. So you have to earn that skill set. How you can earn that skill set is just by giving your time to that one. So yeah, I think I'm running out of time, but I'll just quickly wrap these things. So that's it. From my UI thing, I'll just take few moments to tell what I have done. See, you might be thinking, who is this guy to tell all these things? We don't know him. Who is this guy? We don't understand his thought process and all those things. I'll tell you who am I. I was a normal student like you guys. I got a best outgoing student in 2015 for computer science branch, not only for my academic skills, although I had around 80% of these things, uh, but there were more guys who scored more than me. But I got it because I was doing something out of this box. So uh, just to give you an example, we used to have a computer science or some tech related events we used to have in Flipkart. So for that, at that point of time, I'm telling from 2012 or 2013. So at that point of time, we did not had a proper registration way and proper website to showcase to other colleges as well, right? So at that point of time, I went to Shantala ma'am and asked, ma'am, give me a day. I'll do something so that I will learn something and it may be helpful for registration and to promote some event. So I scheduled few guys. I talked to few guys who I knew who had skills. We all grouped together in 6 hours. We built a website and we launched that one. So we launched by from the hands of Shantala ma'am only. So that's how we took it on us. We did so many things. Uh, we did a startup. You guys won't remember. You guys won't agree. Uh, Store door might not be there now in Tumkur, but we were the first guys to deliver food online in Tumkur. Even before Zomato, whatever Tumkur Mart and all those things came, we did that one in 2015, I think. Uh, we sold it. We sold it for reasonably good amount, and because we had to head out to our own endeavors, so we sold our startup. But we have experience in doing startups and all those things. We have done so many tech talks. I mean, I specifically have done every year. I will be doing at least one talk in CIT for sure. Apart from that, I have done so many sessions in Flipkart. I have done so many sessions in meetups. So, and apart from that, I'm the youngest UI developer in Flipkart to own almost 10 applications. Till now, no one has done that one. And to give you a brief note, from level 2, tier 2 cities, I may be the only guy. Everyone surrounds me are from IIT. So you will know the level of competition there. And from scratch, we were not scared of any of those guys. So we are confident about our skill set. So I achieved this one. So in 2015, I think when the general elections was happening, we launched an app which got the award of Google's Asia's best app. So similarly, we have done so many gigs. I'm a tech enthusiast. I'll be reading some blogs. I will be reading some new technologies. Even though if it is out of uh, my forte, I'll be just seeing those things, what is new and all those things. For I should be a professional photographer, but right now I'm a semi-pro photographer, and I play professional cricket. I'm a travel freak, and I'm proud full-time Kannadiga. Uh, so yeah, that's it, guys. That's me. This is my contact number, my Instagram, my email ID. If you guys think anything and everything. If you want to brainstorm some project, if you want to brainstorm anything, you want to talk about politics, ping me. You want to talk about sports, ping me. You want to talk about technology, ping me. I'll always be there. So if anyone who is interested in front-end engineering, definitely ping me. I would be able to help you guys to prepare for better jobs and all those things. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone. I hope I did not bore you guys. It's a long session, I know. It would have been more interactive. I would have arranged some quizzes and all, but it's not possible via these things. So that's all from my side. Sir,
yeah, thank you, Pawan. Thanks for your time. And it was 30 minutes time what we scheduled, but it took 1 hour 10 minutes, and very interesting. And the insight of all what the frameworks used in Flipkart and frameworks available, and the life of UI developer. It was like good to listen and like practice the same thing for our students, like who are interested. Thank you, Pawan. Thanks for your time. And in coming days,
So much.
like we'll have more sessions. Like you said, like anything for CIT. Thanks a lot.
Sir, anytime, sir. Any topic you guys give me, I mean, I have to prepare. I'm 5 years old from engineering.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like thanks a lot, man.
Thank
Vidya
you. Thank
ma'am.
you, Pawan. Thank you once again.
thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, students. Like let's find the session. Thank you.